Happy Monday to you. I am meteorologist Justin Gertz.
And I'm meteorologist Lily Aldrich. Justin, it's a beautiful day outside.
Oh my gosh, it's funny because we're like, less than a week ago. It was warm. It was just so humid.
And muggy outside.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, hey, it feels like I'm back in Georgia.
Yeah.
But today, on the other hand,
far cry from that.
It's awesome.
So nice. Yeah, we've got those puffy fair weather clouds out there. 68 right now.
I know. It's time to go outside for my walk.
Yeah, no, as soon as this show is done in less than 20 minutes, outside. It's going to be field trip time for the 10 Weather Impact team.
But we are looking forward to a little bit more severe weather later in the week.
Yes, late Wednesday night, early Thursday, that overnight period,
Yes.
have a 10 Weather Impact alert in place for that time. So let's hop right to that there. Looking at a line of thunderstorms along a cold front coming through during the overnight hours Wednesday night, early on Thursday. Likely to produce some gusty winds, some locally heavy rain. Of course, storms off to the west are going to be coming our way, so we're watching for all forms of severe weather, but these are the main two that I'm most watching for at this time. What can you do right now? Just stay updated with us on 10 TV. We'll keep you updated on the latest information that we have as we go along here. Higher severe weather risk is off to our west where those storms form out in Illinois and Missouri. They roll our direction during the nighttime hours, and you see here much of the area into Wednesday night is in that level 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather. Again, gusty winds, perhaps hail, perhaps a brief tornado if that line can be oriented just the right way. Also watching for that potential for locally heavy rainfall. Here's the excessive rainfall outlook for Wednesday night. Another level 2 risk here, and it's pretty wide area that could have some downpours. So we'll be watching that as well for the overnight hours Wednesday night. Our weather, though, has been fairly quiet lately, and it's also been pretty warm. In fact, today is going to be below average for a high temperature for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. There you see from the 3rd of June all the way through yesterday, above normal high temperatures, 12 of them in a row as a matter of fact. Have to go back to the 1st and 2nd of the month for below average highs. Satellite picture shows no rain around, but we do have those puffy fair weather clouds encompassing much of the state. As the sun goes down, their energy goes away, so we'll see a clear sky take over once again for the evening. It is a nice view out there, though. This is a nice afternoon as we have those readings generally in the upper 60s to around 70. Wanted to show you the dew points on here, too. Not because they're high, but because they're so low. We have dry air in place with those dew points in the upper 40s to around 50. That is some very refreshing air for this time of year, especially compared to what we just had. Those dew points stay low the next couple of days, but slowly rise a bit. They'll be peaking going into Thursday as our weather system comes in, brings those areas of rain and thunderstorms. Then they'll dip again behind that cold front going into the weekend. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast as we again see just a partly sunny sky for the afternoon. This evening, clouds go away, mainly clear sky for the nighttime hours. For tomorrow, there is a chance of a shower late, but most of the day is going to be dry. We'll walk you through it here. There you see partly sunny skies developing in the afternoon. Here's 7 p.m. Some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder out of this. Should not be particularly active for us, but a bit of rain to wrap up the day on Tuesday. For Wednesday, again, we have a 10 weather impact alert for late Wednesday, but that's the nighttime hours, really. Most of the day is going to be fine. Partly cloudy skies for much of your Wednesday. We may see a stray shower or storm develop in the evening. Best chance, though, by far is in the overnight hours. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning as we see some of these thunderstorms entering the area and those slide southward going further into the deep overnight and early morning hours on Thursday. As far as temperatures go, the general theme is going to be near or below average readings. Here's the look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook for June 20th through 24th. Just a continuation across the Great Lakes and Midwest of favoring below average temperatures. All right, so for today, aiming for about 72 for a high, partly sunny skies. Northwest winds around 5 to 15. Sunset tonight, 9:02 p.m. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. Again, there is a chance of a shower coming up later on Tuesday. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies and 77. 10 weather impact alert for the overnight hours Wednesday night into Thursday morning. 80 for a high on Wednesday, 81 on Thursday. Going to be breezy on Thursday, too. For Juneteenth, mostly sunny skies. A very nice day once again with 77 for a high. Next weekend looking okay right now, too. About 78 next Saturday, mostly sunny skies. Could be a shower next Sunday with highs back around 80, but overall, certainly not a bad-looking 7-day forecast, except for right in the middle there, where we have those storms that could be fairly active coming up in the overnight hours, Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
So, Justin, basically I'm seeing the best day to get outside would be today or tomorrow. And then after that probably would be Friday.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that we do have a selection of good days this week. It's
Yes.
not just like, oh, make the most of one day. It's not, we have some options out there.
Which is good. It's always good. But while we look ahead to our next chance for storms later this week, we also do need to recap some storms that took place over the weekend. These storms produced some strong flooding, rain, and even some potential tornadoes.
Yeah, that's right. Let's take a look. Slow-moving thunderstorms triggered significant flash flooding in Waco, Texas Sunday evening. Torrential rainfall rates reached 2 to 4 inches per hour, stranding drivers and prompting multiple water rescues. Police and fire officials continued responding to flood emergency calls throughout the night.
And those heavy rains led to some shocking images out of Oklahoma from over the weekend as well. These images here from a local fire department Sunday morning show rescue operations at a campsite where some 15 campers were pulled out of the flooded camp. Thankfully, no injuries were reported.
And then a bit closer to home, a funnel cloud was spotted in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Yeah, home of the groundhog on Sunday by Miranda Phillips. It's unclear or not whether this touched down, but over the weekend there have been already 5 preliminary reports of a tornado from Ohio into Pennsylvania.
And even outside the potential tornado parts of the Buckeye State, we still saw some storm damage over the weekend.
Yeah, Keith Grant reports on the impacts from Cleveland.
This massive tree snapped at the base. We're at University Heights City Hall. The tree laid out in the front lawn, barely missing the City Hall building, not landing on top of it. A strong storm moved through northeast Ohio Sunday with winds up to 60 miles per hour, leaving damage across the region. This light pole bent at the base, now leaning onto power lines, the only thing keeping it off the street. In Cleveland Heights, another tree down, this one across a residential street. Within minutes, volunteers with a group called Havrim had chainsaws running, cutting through the trunk, pushing debris out of the road, and impressively had this street open in under an hour. These charred pieces from this detached garage here burnt to the ground. And then if we look up, the trees black from how high the flames went, and the power pole scorched here in Euclid. Pete Yoon was out when his phone rang.
My mom called, said the garage is on fire.
He rushed back to his home in Euclid, finding the detached garage burned and crumbled, everything inside destroyed.
Golf clubs, stuff like that.
Including this cat shelter the family kept open for strays.
We had it open, especially like in the wintertime for the strays. At least they have a warm place.
But everyone made it out safe.
Luckily, no one got hurt. That's the biggest thing.
Euclid Fire says a down power line started the fire just before 4 Sunday afternoon. Keith Grant, 19 News.
Moving on from severe weather, it's time we start getting ready for summer as well.
Yeah, and if you live in the upper Arlington, you might notice city crews out on the streets this evening doing just that. That's because the city is spraying for mosquitoes. Officials say crews will be out at 9 p.m. focusing on areas south of McCoy Road.
The city posted on social media earlier today saying the goal is to cut down on nuisance and floodwater mosquitoes. They said this specific species does not carry the West Nile virus. The schedule depends on the weather, so plans could change if it does rain.
Yeah, and here's a trivia question for you. What's the deadliest animal in the world?
I have absolutely no clue.
Well, the CDC says it's the mosquito.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. About 12 of these species insects can spread harmful germs to people in the U.S.
Mandy Gaither has more on how you can protect against mosquitoes in your yard, in your home, and on your body.
They're more than just a nuisance. Mosquitoes kill more people than any other creature in the world, spreading diseases like dengue, West Nile, Zika, chikungunya, and malaria. This time of year, they're out for blood.
First, they smell you, then they see you, and then they sense the warmth from your skin and then eventually land on you.
Connor McMenamin with Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says mosquitoes love to breed during the summer months, especially when there's a lot of rainfall and puddles in which they lay their eggs. The CDC says more than 200 types of mosquitoes live in the continental U.S. and U.S. territories, and about a dozen of those spread germs that can cause illnesses. But you can't tell if a mosquito is making you sick when it bites.
It's important to protect ourselves against mosquitoes and enjoy a bite-free summer.
To do that, McMenamin says to keep mosquitoes away from your home by removing standing pools of water that could be in potted plant bases or drainage areas, and use window screens. When mosquitoes are most active, cover up by wearing long sleeves and pants. Finally, he says to avoid natural or homemade insect repellents and go with one that's EPA registered instead.
Because they've been tested for safety and also efficacy against mosquitoes found in the United States.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
News about our environment. There's a big cold spot in the North Atlantic Ocean, and scientists think they know why. It comes down to ocean currents.
What researchers have nicknamed the cold blob is a large patch of just south of Greenland that's cooled nearly 2 degrees since the 1900s.
Yeah, seemingly at the center of the issue is the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC. That process moves warm water north, where it cools and sinks, then flows back to the south. Data suggests the presence of the cold blob indicates the AMOC is weakening. Scientists say that's because human activity has caused warming that's melting the ice caps, leading to an infusion of cold, fresh water that disrupts a delicate balance. If the AMOC stops completely, it would likely cause rising sea levels on the East Coast, frigid winters in Europe, and prolonged droughts in Africa.
And speaking of temperatures in the Antarctic Peninsula, reached a record high of about 15.4 degrees Celsius in early June during their current winter. The latest reading by an Argentinian researcher station showed that the temperatures were well above the June average of negative 6.2 degrees Celsius and surpassed the 1998 record of 13.3 degrees. The abnormal warmth is causing ice to melt at abnormal rates in the Antarctic Peninsula.
Jose Luis Stella, a climatologist at Argentina's National Meteorological Service, sounded the alarm about the abnormally high June temperatures in a media interview last Thursday. Researchers say the Esperanza base has been recording above zero temperatures daily for 3 consecutive weeks, during which time the surrounding areas of the base has remained free of snow, warning of the adverse impact on the polar ecosystem.
In other environment news, lawmakers are concerned the U.S. isn't doing enough to eradicate the New World screwworm.
21 senators sent a letter to Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins about the growing threat the flesh-eating pest poses. The parasite, which had been eradicated for decades, could cost the economy billions and raise beef prices.
There are at least 7 confirmed cases, mostly in cattle in Texas. Agriculture Secretary Rollins visited one of the sites after Thursday's release.
Since February of this year, we've released 142 million sterile flies here in Texas on this side of the border, again, preparing for this moment in time.
Female screwworm fly mates only mate once, so mating with the sterile flies help the population die off. Right now, all sterile flies come from one producer in Panama, but it isn't producing them fast enough.
All right, speaking of outdoor pests, if you're out enjoying the warmer weather heading this summer, you want to protect yourself from an increasing tick population. Lyme disease is the most common tick-borne illness in the U.S., and cases are on the rise in recent years. Meg Oliver has more on how to keep your family safe.
I was diagnosed with Lyme disease when I was 7 or 8.
When Olivia Abrams contracted Lyme disease as a child, she suffered for months before getting the correct diagnosis.
Eventually had a really hard time walking. My left knee blew up like a balloon.
Tick-borne infections like Lyme disease trigger the body's immune response, causing pain and fatigue.
How bad can your symptoms get?
They can be completely debilitating.
According to the CDC, emergency room visits for tick bites in most of the country are at their highest since 2017, rising dramatically in the Northeast and Midwest. Warmer weather due to climate change and suburban sprawl are partially to blame.
I think a lot of people associate tick bites with the summer.
Yeah.
April to July is when ticks are born. They can be the size of a poppy seed, making them very difficult to find.
Most of the tick bites aren't in the woods or in the tall grass, they're in your yard.
Dr. Daniel Cameron has treated thousands of people with tick bites.
They see specialists, they see the neurologists, and they're still sick. So often it takes a while for them to realize that Lyme disease can cause those symptoms.
Experts say to avoid tick bites, wear long sleeves and pants outdoors and put clothes in the dryer to kill ticks. Check your skin closely, and if you find a tick, pull it straight out in one piece with a fine-tipped tweezer.
How lucky are you that you caught yours early?
Extremely lucky.
An aggressive course of antibiotics helped Olivia Abrams avoid the worst effects of the disease. She's now making sure others understand the harm a tiny tick can do. Meg Oliver, CBS News, South Orange, New Jersey.
We are are edging closer and closer to a nation's 250th anniversary, also taking another look back at how weather has affected us as a nation.
Evan Stewart from our sister station at WVEC is taking a look back at how weather changed America in the blizzard of 1899.
In February 1899, the entire country was locked into one of the harshest Arctic outbreaks ever recorded. Coastal Virginia and North Carolina were right in the middle of it. For nearly 2 weeks, bitter, record-setting cold plunged southward. Ice was even reported flowing out of the Mississippi River into the Gulf. And here in Hampton Roads, temperatures plunged to levels that still stand out more than a century later. And right in the heart of that deep freeze came one of the strongest winter storms our region has ever seen. The Great Blizzard, also known as the St. Valentine's Day Blizzard of 1899, from February 11th through the 13th. As a matter of fact, Norfolk picked up 13.5 inches of snow, which still ranks as the 5th highest snowfall total in recorded history. Even today, that would shut down the region, but in 1899, with minimal snow removal and far fewer resources, travel and transportation would have nearly stopped. And the other side of the story is the cold. Norfolk dropped to 3 degrees. Hampton hit 4, and Newport News got down to 3. Cape Henry fell to 5 degrees, and even the Outer Banks froze, with Cape Hatteras dropping down to 12 degrees. And Wilmington, North Carolina, saw 5 inches of snow, a rare coastal storm for eastern North Carolina.
Let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. Video from late Sunday night in Waco, Texas shows a car stuck in flooding. One person posted video from I-35 saying, "I'm trapped between 2 flooded out areas that are impassable, and I don't know how long I'll be here."
In the video, he tells followers a car is floating into the flooded waters. Just one more great example of why we always tell people to never drive through flooded roads. You can't actually see how deep any kind of flooded road is, so it's always good to take caution.
Yeah, and especially at nighttime, it's so hard to see these sort of situations. So if you ever encounter that and there's ever any doubt, just turn around and get another way, because it does not take very long to have things get problematic in a big hurry. But thankfully, they were able to get out from that situation. All right, finally today, firefighters responded to a call for some little citizens who were stuck.
That's right. Some ducklings were stuck in a storm drain. Oh my gosh. Firefighters handled the little animals with care, patience, and according to their Facebook post.
Oh, look at those little things. They always, every year there's duckling videos or gosling videos, but usually ducklings of getting caught in places, and it's just like, oh, you little nuggets, what are you doing?
I love the videos when the ducklings finally get out and they like scramble to go find their mom. They're like, "Mother, where are you?"
What's going on here? At least they don't, jump right back in or anything like that. So,
oh, goodness.
Yeah, because we had the video last week of the ducklings that got caught in the pool and couldn't find their way out, so they had to put them in a bucket and lift them out and all that. So
I think I just really like little baby animals.
I mean, how can you not like
compared to all the bugs we've been talking about today?
Right. I'll take the ducklings over the bugs.
Anytime.
Anytime for sure. Well, today, great weather, as you were talking about earlier. Have a few days of great weather coming up to pick from over the next 7 days, but today is really going to be picture perfect out there. 72 for a high today, partly sunny skies, no mugginess to speak of. Maybe a shower later on tomorrow, but most of tomorrow is completely dry. Watching for that opportunity for some thunderstorms, maybe a few of them Wednesday evening, but especially Wednesday overnight into early on Thursday, probably after 2 a.m. the way things are looking right now. Could produce some gusty winds and heavy rain. A lot of that should be out of here for most of the morning drive based on current timing on Thursday, but things could shift a little bit out there just because we've got a few days between now and then, so some timing may be adjusted a little bit. Otherwise, looking at about 80, 81 degrees Wednesday and Thursday before things cool back off to comfortable levels to finish off the week. Looking at about 77 on Juneteenth, and then for the upcoming weekend, upper 70s still to around 80 with partly to mostly sunny skies. So for the middle of June here, that
you love
ain't
to
bad.
see it.
Yeah.
You love to see it, Justin. So definitely outside today, tomorrow. Little gross Wednesday, Thursday. And then we get right back into the nice summer pattern.
Yeah, so sunscreen, and it's one of those things that even though it's not blazingly hot out there this afternoon, sunscreen still necessary. Same story for tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, if you're going to be out and about during those times. Even when it's not hot, sun doesn't care.
Wear it. Yeah.
Exactly, your skin doesn't care if
UV
it's
is still
hot.
8 or 9 pretty much all week this week.
Exactly, so keep that in mind. All right, well, thanks for joining us here on the 10 Weather Impact Show. Meteorologist